What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is Drew up top. And this is the weekly prep call for the week of March 27th to March 31st. This is the last week of May. This is the last week of the first quarter of 2023. So let's get it. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna go over the earnings, economical events, Fed speakers, and fair and greed index first. And then we will go into some of the charts of what I am watching this week. Just got a few tickers, but very significant plays, very high quality plays, I believe. Yeah, man. So yeah, we got Rolo on here, we got Alex on here, we got Webb on here. So let's get it started. All right, so boom, earnings tomorrow. I believe that's Carnival. Let me verify. Carnival as in the cruise line. Let me just make sure. It is. So Carnival Cruise Line has earnings tomorrow before open. And honestly, there's nothing else. Oh, Micron, MU, Tuesday after close. And nothing else that I see will be relevant to the market. RH, is that Robinhood? Wednesday after close? Let me verify that as well. That is not Robinhood. Robinhood is next month. So yeah, the only significant ones I would see this week is Carnival, which is really not even that significant, and then Micron, MU. And Micron deal with chips, stuff like that, semiconductors. So we can watch the AMDs and the NVIDIAs, the QQQ, all the tech, the QComs. We can watch that into Wednesday, depending on what Micron earnings does and if they guide up, guide down, or whatever they say. But for earnings, that's it this week. I think this is probably like the last week or last couple of weeks of earnings season. Next week we do go into the new quarter, so that's good. Here's the economic calendar this week. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific. Actually, my apologies. These are in Eastern time, so I was just in Atlanta, so I took these in Atlanta. So 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is 7 a.m. Pacific time, is the consumer confidence. This typically has some kind of effect on the market. So whether it's good or bad, we'll be looking out for that. Wednesday, we got pending home sales and crude oil inventories. I wouldn't worry too much about those. Thursday, this is significant. We have gross domestic products, right? And then we have initial jobless claims. I do want to touch on what the GDP is real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so GDP is the gross domestic product, right? And this measures the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. It is the broadest measure of the economic activity and the primary indicator of the economy's health, right? It's the primary indicator of the economy's health. So this is very important on Thursday, and this comes out 1 hour before open, along with initial jobless claims. So we can see some significant movement on Thursday, depending on whether GDP and jobless claims are good or bad. So if the GDP comes back over the forecasted, then that is good for currency, as in the dollar, but it's not good for the market. If it comes back lower, that means the inflation is heading lower, and it's going to be good for the market, but not good for currency, such as the dollar. So that's very significant to look out for on Thursday. Fair and greed index, we're creeping up. We are at 33 this week. We are almost in the middle of the fair sector. Last week, I believe it was at 25. It was at extreme fair. So we did get some bulls coming in the market, and the charts will reflect that when I move over to the charts in a second. But we are at 33, so bulls are stepping in, and we have room to the upside. We do have some Fed speakers this week. Let's see, starting Tuesday, we have, before open, we have Fed member Barr. He speaks again on Thursday, before open. And then Thursday as well, we have Fed member Barkin. And then Thursday in the afternoon, 3:45 p.m. Eastern, we have the Treasury Secretary Yellen. So that should be important. When she spoke this week, the market kind of reacted, when she was speaking. So let's see what she has to say. Friday, we have Williams and Cook, and these are both in the afternoon. Cook is after market close, so we don't really got to worry about that. And these aren't really significant names. Really, only thing I would really pay some interest to is the Yellen speaking on Thursday, which I probably wouldn't even pay attention to that too much anyway. So nothing here, no Powell or anything on the calendar. So see my boy Powell here. No time for puts. So let's see what we get this week, man. So yeah, let's jump into the charts, man. First things first, y'all know I like to go over ES and SPY, right? Let's pull up ES on the daily, right? I apologize for all the extra lines, but these are my targets and my technical analysis, right? So ES, you can see we broke out of this trend still. We holding it very well. And we were in a big bear flag, but we broke out of that. And you can see the bulls have been stepping in, and we did reclaim that 4,000 level on ES, right? So I'm gonna make it white so we can see. Boom, boom, white. So is the 4,000 level, which is a very key level for ES, right? So I've been using this as a gauge lately. Is whenever we are above it, we're relatively bullish, and when we are below, relatively bearish. So you see, we did reclaim that on Friday. And we did have a rising wedge at that bear flag, and we broke it. We had volume coming into the break, and we broke it, and we held 4,000. So I think we're going to be bullish this week as long as we can hold this 4,000 level. And the next targets I have to the upside, the next solid targets are 4,035, 4,060, 4,090, and then 4,100 is that next psychological level. So these are pretty decent targets. Spread apart, coincidentally they're every about 30 points too, which is crazy. I just realized that we got 35 points here, then 25 point here, and then 30 point here, then the 10 point difference between the 4090 and the 4100. But these are very solid levels. You can see we've been moving off of these levels for the last few months. You can see we got the rejects here at 4035, nasty reject here at 4035. We got the breakdown here at 4035, the breakout here at 4035, the reject here, the reject at 4060, the bounces at 4060, the rejects at 4090, the bounces at 4100, bounce 4100, bounce 41, reject here. So very significant levels, and these are the solid levels I will be watching. So now going into SPY, same exact as ES. SPY, I did say we was gonna take if SPY was gonna hold on the hourly 390, which it did. We was gonna take calls, and I didn't take it because I ran out doing errands and stuff, so I missed it. I didn't get back to the charts to the end of the day, and I seen it. And but that's just how it happens sometimes. You're gonna miss moves. So the next area I'm looking at for SPY is I want to see it up around this resistance, which would be the bear flag resistance right here, the green line, and also this major daily trend line. So which is around the 4.2, 4.3 area, which is also a resistance I have for SPY. So I won't be messing with SPY for now until we can get up around here for a reject or a breakout, or come down around 391, 390s for a bounce or a breakdown. So for me, SPY is in no man's land. You can see I wanted to take calls at 390 here, but I missed it, and it's at 396 now, so I'm not going to chase it. I'll just wait at this resistance or at this support. However, I do like Adobe. Adobe is my second favorite watch coming into this week. And the reason I like it is because Adobe, so first of all, on the daily, Adobe has this massive symmetrical triangle here. You can see nice, strong downtrend, and now we are in huge consolidation in this triangle here. And we are testing the resistance, right? So not only are we in this symmetrical triangle, if I zoom down to the hourly, we can see we are in another bull pennant here, right? So we got the flagpole here, the nice uptrend, consolidation. And on the hourly, we actually broke out. But my entry here for calls is not until the high of this candle, which is 375.23 will be my entry. And then the first target I have is 377.33, which is the top of this candle here. 381.87, which is the top of this candle here. And then this gap on Adobe. And this gap goes from 387.28 to 388.88. And Adobe is a mover. So if we can get a good breakout here, I definitely think it's going to make a good run. And Adobe is the stock that can do this kind of move in 1-2 days. You can see here in 1 week it made a move from 340 to 374. That's a $34 move. So this is something that we could play contracts out the money for cheaper and let them ride. So this is my second favorite watch. And so also, if we do actually reject this resistance, because this is a major resistance, it can reject. If we do reject it, I like puts on the low of this candle here, of this bull candle, which would be 367.23. And then I have targets down to 365.44. Then I have a target at 361.52. And then I see it coming down to this gap area, which is from 334.28 to 340.53. Now, these are significant moves that it can make to either side. So definitely going to be watching and waiting for confirmation on this, right? So and when I say waiting for confirmations, is we want to see the higher time frames actually close above the trigger, right? So higher time frames, as in like the hourly, the 30-minute, the 4-hour. I want to see those. Well, the 4-hour, we're not gonna wait 4 hours for an entry, but the hourly, preferably, I love to see hold and break out of one of these levels, and then I'll be very comfortable taking calls or taking the puts. As you can see, we have very good risk to reward here. If we play the upside, we will have a stop just under the trend line here, about half of this candle, which is around 371, and then we will take profits at the top of this gap. And this is a 4.58 risk to reward. Very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. You can see that the upside we have, and then if we fake out, we'll stop out here, and then we could probably flip and play puts, because the puts have even a greater risk to reward, right? Just get my tool out. Say we get into puts here. Same stop will be about half the candle, which also come to that resistance, and then down to the bottom of the gap. This is a 7.05 risk to reward. Very, very, very nasty. And this can definitely do it if we get a nice reject here. So I'm very excited to play Adobe. Whether it breaks to the up or downside, we have very good risk to reward, very good probability of catching a nasty move if we don't fake out. So, and this is my second favorite watch. So this is Adobe. Again, calls over 375.23. Puts under 367.23. And shouts out Rolo, man. I got these strat entries, from trading with him this past 2-3 years. So gotta give my hats off to him. Next, I have, this is my favorite watch going to this week. It's SEC Limited. This is I believe this is a Chinese stock. But what we have here is, I have it in a nice, you can see we're in a nice uptrend channel, right? We're making higher highs, higher lows, right? But within this channel, we have a nice rising wedge, right? And rising wedge are nice reversal bearish patterns, right? So showing me that we have this rising wedge, which is bearish, at this resistance, which is bearish. And we also have bearish divergence, which is bearish. See, so the bearish divergence is when the stock is making higher highs and the RSI and or MACD is making lower highs. You can see the RSI here is making lower highs. So we have the rising wedge, 1 confirmation. We have the resistance, 2 confirmation. We have bearish divergence, 3 confirmation. We have the inside bearish Harami candle here, 4 confirmations. So the way I would play this here is a break below the low of this candle, which will also seem to break the rising wedge support, right? So this entry here will be below 80.22. And I'll be very comfortable taking this down to at least this gap here at 67.61, which is about a $15 move. And then the lowest I see it going is to the bottom of this channel around 62, 61 area. And these puts are 3.93 return with a stop at these high here that it rejected twice, and also the top of that rising wedge. So this would be a swing play. I'm looking at swinging these out to April 21st. And I like the 70. Yeah, so the $70 puts are 1.1, so $110 per contract. I would like to take a couple of these if we get this trigger, with a tight stop loss at this high here, which is 84.9, and I would be very comfortable playing this down to this gap at least. And this, if it hits this gap, these will go in the money. Should go in the money like $3, and it should be around a 600% return if it does it by expiration, which is a month away. It can definitely do it way before then, which will return a way higher percentage. So this is my top watch going into this week. Everything else looks bullish, but this setup is nasty, So and if it breaks above, then we'll play the upside. It'll be simply just to break above these highs here, which is the same 84.9. And then you can see we have no resistance until these areas, 87, 87.76, and then these highs around 93. So my bias is bearish definitely though first on here. And if we break to the upside, then I will react accordingly. But I love this. This is C Limited. I believe it's a Chinese stock. It is a Chinese stock. Yep. No, it's from Singapore. And there are a internet and mobile platform company which they engage in the provision of online gaming services. So yeah, we'll see what they have to do. So those are my main watches, and I do have two contenders that I also like. One is Microsoft, similar situation, but it's in a huge rising wedge. And then it has this ascending triangle here. You see better on the 4 hour. And the reason why I don't have this as a watch is because I don't like to see these triangles right below resistance. Because for me, this means that if it does break, it's not going to make much of a move, even though this is about a $3 move. But this is, for me, in my experience, this is more prone to a fake out. So I don't really want to take this, but I will watch it just in case. So Microsoft, and then Zscaler. It's pretty nice too. You see it's at lows here, man. It's at lows here we coming down from 379, in 2021, and we are at 111 here. To me, it looks like we bottomed out here. See, bottom here, we couldn't come and make a lower low, so it looks like we bottomed out, and we are in a bullish consolidation here. To me, see, we have the double inside candles here with the bull pennant. Nice strong bull push right here. So we definitely we can get a push up. We do have a gap up here. As we know, gaps like to get filled. It's just a matter of when. And this gap is from 125.7 area to 128.8 area. So that is about, over a $15 move. So the entry here will be above this inside Harambe candle here, like a doji, which is 113.06. And I think I'll be comfortable swinging these towards the gap, given this overall structure. As we can see here, the last time it kind of bottomed out here. This is back over here, and last year bottomed out here. It started to make higher lows as it pushed up. So I'm looking for a similar situation here, saying that this is basically bottomed out here, came and make a higher low here, and that we may expect a push up from here, potentially into this gap area. So I do like this. I never played the stock before though, so I'm just a little hesitant on it. But I'll definitely be watching it, and we'll see what it does. It looks like it moves pretty textbook. See see, I can just looking at the chart, I can see nice channels. See a nice channel here. Nice strong downtrend. So yeah, definitely looking for this to go up. And these are my watches for right now. And we have a clear schedule until Thursday, really. So market can definitely catch some steam, before it get any catalyst to push it more up or more down. Yeah, that's my watches. Adobe, C lifted, Microsoft, and SD on my watch. But my main watches are C and Adobe. And for SPY, I'm just waiting for SPY. It's patient, just sitting on SPY. I only want to see SPY around 390, 391, or around 402, 403 to catch another significant move. So yeah, that's my watch for this week. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll wait around for questions. If not, if nobody have any questions, I'll swing it over to Rolo or Webb.
Good afternoon. I appreciate y'all coming. My name is Rolo, one of the admins currently in the Up Top community. I'll go over the first two plays. So, FedEx. So this is interesting to me. Originally, it popped on my scanner for a 3-1 weekly. All right, and this is the 3 candle. This is the 1 candle. It's a 3 because it broke the high and the low of the previous, and a 1 because it didn't break either side. Now, I would love to see this come down, and I'll tell you why. The put side trigger to this is 214.67. This is the put side trigger. The first target from 214 is 204.05, which this is the weekly candle. I'll show you why it's 204.05. But the overall weekly target based off of this will be the 190.83. 190.83 from 214.67, which is like a crazy move right there. But the reason why I got the 204 is if you go back to the daily, it actually has a gap at 204. And if it fills that, cool. If not, it is what it is, man. But under 214.67, first target will be the gap fill down to 204, and then the next target will be this 190. Now, it does not have full time frame continuity, green or red. It's mixed. It's conflicting. But as you know, tomorrow's going to be the start of a new day and also a new week, but the monthly candle is still going to be green for the most part, unless it comes down here and gaps back down or fills that gap. It has a hammer on the daily, right? So originally 3-1 on the weekly, the entry is supposed to be 223.60, and the first target price is 226, and then 229. Now, if I break it down to the daily and see if there's an earlier entry, I would enter above Friday's high, which is 218.21, and the first target will be 222.64. And then the next target would be the 3-1 weekly entry, which would be like a trigger machine gun right here. 223.60, and then 226, then 229. Now, I'm not good with the triangles, so I figure this may be like a falling wedge. And Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, or Webb, one of the other admins, anybody that wants to chime in. But if it breaks out, I'm pretty sure this is bullish. And if it breaks out to the top side, it could potentially go crazy. But from a strat perspective, I'm playing the 3-1 weekly or the green 2 down. So yeah, I'll put the entries and the targets in the chat. I would love to see this break down because it's more magnitude to the downside. Underneath that 214, It's a gap to fill, and it don't get much simpler than that. Gap fills, you know what the target is. Next, Microsoft. It also has a 3-1 weekly setup. Now this hammer, this inside hammer, I consider that bullish, but for some reason, if something happens later in the week and we go bearish, under 269, and the first weekly target is 245. All right, because as you can see, it just shot straight up. And there's not a lot of support underneath here. But under 269, I got to go on the 245 on the weekly. Now to the top side, which I believe Microsoft will end up going to the top side. First off, if you look up here, it's full time frame continuity green. It has an inside candle, an inside hammer, bullish engulfing also, but it's not a lot of magnitude to the top side. But over this 281.06, the first target is going to be 283.33, and then 286, which is going to be a gap fill play. And if I look back a little bit further, as y'all can see, there's a gap from August 19th, and then a gap down to August 22nd. Never filled that gap. It came close right here, but it did not fill that gap yet. And if it actually continues and we actually push through with strength, target will be that 294. Now this is all you got to play what the market gives you, but it has a gap to the top side, and to the downside it doesn't really have much support. But I would love this. I like Microsoft, man. I'm bullish biased because of the full time frame continuity green, but again, you got to play what the market gives you. And as of right now, I'm gonna keep the charting to the end. I could probably do some live charting, but those are the plays that I'm currently watching, and I will pass it off to Webb or Drew, and then at the end of it, I'm gonna be doing some live charting, going through the rest of my scanners to see if there's any jewels that I'm missing.
Yeah, but this concludes the overall weekly prep call for the week of March 27th through the 31st. Again, I do want to reiterate that this is the last week of the month, the last week of the quarter, right? So let's close the quarter out strong. Let's close the month out strong and begin the next month and the next quarter out even stronger. So yeah, appreciate y'all time. And yeah, we'll be here charting and doing Q&A the up top way.